Attentive teaching, advocating calm, cultivating resilience.
Hi, welcome to Attentive Teaching. I'm Cindy Schwartz. On today's podcast, we're going to try to turn off the noise. We're going to try to help ourselves teach quietly. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that you won't be talking. It's just about trying to help ourselves become more aware of not teaching frenetically. You know, teaching is very simple. It should never be complicated. You love children and have always wanted to help them feel capable and good about themselves. You want to make a difference. And here are some suggestions to help you approach teaching in a more Zen-like fashion and to make your day quieter. Make sure that you have eaten and slept well the night before. Teaching is emotional and physical. Have your book bag ready the night before if you are going into class physically. And if you are driving, please drive as calmly to work as you can. Maybe consider not talking on your phone. Listen to music you love that soothes you, whether you are in your car or at home teaching remotely. Listen to that music before you start your day. Or maybe consider not listening to anything. Leave time to settle in once you get to school if you're going physically, before you begin teaching for the day. Try to avoid rushing in, and this applies whether you're home or in school. Try to avoid engaging in negative dialogue and/or negative thoughts before the day begins. Visualize waves in the ocean. Go below the surface to a quieter, more subtle place. Say hi to your colleagues, whether you are in school physically or try to do that remotely to just connect. Always greet your students with a smile, say hi, and ask them how they are. Never start a class until you do that. And please smile often. Consider a meditation bell to center everyone before you begin class. You can use that remotely or whether you're in school physically. It all works. Be clear about the one single concept you will teach for your class. If you teach elementary school and have the children for the whole day, still be clear. Teach one social studies concept, one math, one science, and so on. Spend time at the end of the day synthesizing the separate concepts you taught throughout the day. Make connections. Ask your students if they think the lessons are relevant to their daily lives. Speak slowly and not hurried. Use an experiential, creative way to introduce each lesson. It should be simple. A poem, a quote, a picture, a song, nothing elaborate. Keep things simple. Be kind to your students. Insist that they be kind to one another. Model love, patience, and respect, but have parameters. Keep a mindful eye on the student who seems distant, angry, behavioral, or unengaged. Think of a simple plan to address that. Maybe start with a quiet talk with the child. Do not pontificate, just listen. Find out what your students' hobbies are. Just make a connection. Ask a struggling student to stay with you briefly before lunch or after lunch to ask how they are doing, and you can certainly do that remotely in the chat rooms as well. Connecting, however small, works. Always be consistent and try and keep your word. If the assignment is due tomorrow, then it is due tomorrow. Bend like the trees when it is necessary and compassionate to do so. Bend and make adjustments for illness and family strife that can interfere with a student's ability to meet deadlines, but overall, teach and model responsibility in keeping one's word. Hand back work in a timely fashion. Laugh in class to whatever seems or is funny. Students will laugh with you. The day will lighten. Don't forget to eat lunch, either alone or with colleagues, but eat. Do not work through lunch if you can help it. Give students time during the lesson or day to physically move around in some way, even if it is brief. Whether you are remotely teaching or in school physically, give them time to move around. And sometimes read a story to students, no matter how old they are. they will welcome the quietness of your voice and the simplicity of a lesson like that. Teach love and compassion by being patient as students answer your questions or the questions of other students. Wait. Wait seconds. Give them time to reflect, process, and garner up the courage to respond. And try not to interrupt them. Never forget what it was like to be a student yourself. Gently encourage students to challenge themselves and move beyond their comfort zones. Maybe suggest outside readings and/or projects that pair your curriculum with their personal interests and hobbies. Compassionately understand that by 1 p.m., younger students are tired and older students are just waking up. End your school days by wishing your students a nice afternoon and a pleasant evening. Hope that your students have a nice dinner with their loved ones, but know that many will not. Be empathetic. At the end of a workday, stay for meetings you have to and engage at the level that feels comfortable for you. You are a professional, but try not to push yourself to do more than you can do. It was a busy day. Do an errand or two after work if you must, but be mindful of trying to go home or go to a quiet place after school that helps you regroup. Enjoy your dinner at night. Enjoy any television shows or movies that make you smile, and prepare for the next day of school, but do it simply. Think of something creative the kids would love. And if you have to mark papers, mark just one class. I have learned just one class, then stop. Use a free prep period the next day to do the rest. Pack your bag for the next day. Remind yourself that you have done the very best you can for today, and that you teach because you love kids and you want to make a difference. And each day in your own quiet way, remember that you are making a difference in a child's life. Never, ever forget that. I hope today's podcast has provided you with some doable, realistic strategies to help you teach more quietly and less frenetically. If you have any suggestions as to what you are doing in the classroom to teach more quietly or to make your life less frenetic, please share them with us at Attentive Teaching. Thank you for joining us today on Attentive Teaching. Visit us again for new podcasts that shed light on the challenges we all face in the classroom. Visit us at attentiveteaching.com, where you can find links to our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Also, check us out on YouTube and subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast app of choice. This has been Cindy Schwartz. Thanks so much for stopping by. I wish you a beautiful teaching day and great peace in your classroom. Join us at Attentive Talks every Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, where we hold conversations with real teachers in real time to discuss real issues. If you'd like to join our weekly chat, join our private Facebook group, Attentive Talks, where we post our Zoom info. That's Attentive Talks every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Attentive Talk is a project of Attentive Teaching, where advocating calm and cultivating resilience are our #1 priorities.